everyone, TNG Street Rider here, and welcome to another gameplay preview featuring Iron Man, Tony Stark. Alright everyone, so we're here once again today with the new Iron Man. As you can see, he hovers now. Iron Man was a hero that faced a lot of problems throughout all courses of the game, so Gazillion Entertainment's gone ahead and kind of redesigned him, reimagined him to be a little bit more Iron Man-like. And as a result, he is a much better hero, although some people may miss his old playstyle. Let's go ahead and take a look at his tree. First, we have his new repulsors, which as you can see are much stronger. And they do 25% bonus damage now if you have his shield activated. Again, this is what I'm showing you right now is by no means the perfect build. It's just a build that I've gone ahead and made up. The new Iron Man, in my opinion, does have 3 viable trees, and you can actually pick whichever skills you want, whether they be energy beams, whether you want a more melee oriented build, which he can do now because he has a melee basic, and Jet Assisted Slam does amazing damage now, or if you want a more techie kind of build with his wrist rockets and micro missiles. As you can see, I've kind of, again, I've gone for a hybrid of all 3. I don't necessarily pick skills based upon usefulness. I kind of just go with what I like. For example, a lot of people use channel repulsors and coolant blast, and while I think those skills are cool, I like the basic repulsors better, and I really like the micro missiles, so I've gone ahead and swapped those out based upon personal preference. And I recommend you, again, you build your Iron Man the way you want to build them. But anyway, here we go with some of the new animations. I use Repulsor Ray, as you can see it's much more repulsory. Shield Overload, which now does not consume your entire shield, it only consumes a portion of it. It gives a nice shield burst, which does, as you can see, a lot of damage, and it restores spirit. So, in my opinion, the new Iron Man does not have any spirit problems whatsoever, because you can just go ahead, pop that baby, and get back 25% of your spirit. Micro missiles, they now have a cooldown, which is 3 seconds, and they cost a lot more spirit. However, they still fire off a large amount of rockets, and as you can see, each individual rocket actually does more damage now. Not really much has changed in the animation department for this skill, but it does look, it's still a lot of explosions. It looks good. Okay, now this is a new skill that he did not have before. It's called Jericho Bombardment. This skill really helps out with his AoE clear, which is something that he had a little bit of a problem before. As you can see, he calls down the Jericho missiles. A lot of you remember them from Iron Man 1, the movie. Comic book fans, of course, will know them in a much more detailed sense. But there you go, he bombards an area with his Jericho missiles. It's got a 3-second cooldown, so you can overlap them slightly. You can cover a pretty large area by overlapping them. And again, all new animations for the new Iron Man. Right here we have the one-off, which, as you can see, it does an extraordinary amount of damage. It does have a 26.5 second cooldown. Of course, the cooldown starts at 30 seconds and goes down with rank. But the one-off, a lot of you remember it specifically from Iron Man 2. It is one of his comic moves as well, but let's go ahead and show you the new animation for it. There you go, very Iron Man-y. Even ejects the cartridges at the end. As you can see, I have, again, I've taken Flight as my movement power because it doesn't take as much stamina anymore, and it is a lot faster. And of course, I have H as my Force Shield. Shield is kind of a power that everyone who plays Iron Man will have, even if you don't go as far as into Shield Overload. And his new ranged attack, which starts him off at level 1, is actually his wrist rocket, which, again, something that you guys will recognize from the Iron Man movies if you're not a fan of the comics. Very signature Iron Man move, something that people felt was missing from the old Iron Man. It's now in the game. It does a lot of damage, and it has a burn over time. Very exciting stuff. He plays great. Just to let you know, guys know what I'm working at. I do have my level 48 Iron Man here. I am rocking 4 cosmic items. And a I mean, it's not the best costume as far as asphyxiations could go, but it's decent for what I need it for. Again, this is actually my live Iron Man. This is not the test center Iron Man, so I can't do anything about the things that I found. But here we go. We're gonna go ahead and start. We are in a daily. It's a tier 3 daily for Doctor Octopus. So these things are gonna be a little bit tougher. They're gonna have a lot of asphyxiations that, if you're just starting out, you may not have seen before. But as you can see, I'm doing really good damage. My health hasn't dropped. Um, Iron Man is just one of those characters now that he can shell out a lot of damage. He can take a decent pounding. Again, he's not going to be anywhere near as strong as, say, the Hulk. But he can take a beating without getting beat up himself, which is a nice change of pace because the other Iron Man, while strong if you had his kiting build, if you used any of Iron Man's other builds, you were usually pretty screwed when it comes to the damage taken on a opponent. He did not, he dealt damage but did not take it very well unless you use a specific build. And that's, for a lot of people, especially people like myself, and maybe you guys are watching videos, I always encourage don't just copy my build or copy it if you really want to try it, but make your own build. Go with the skills that you want, because at the end of the day, the game has to be fun for you guys to play. And if you're using skills just because you're told to, and you don't really get to experiment, it's not really fun. It's monotonous, and it gets boring real quick for a lot of people. As you can see, this is not the biggest of instances. This is just a quick daily. This one's gonna have a little more random gameplay that I throw in there for you. But as you can see, this new Iron Man is absolutely menacing. I mean, his one-off gives him a lot of AoE clear that he did not have before, and it's really, really nice because he was a hero that needed it. I mean, Iron Man has never been kind of the one-on-one, like, super strong hero. Yes, he has really advanced technology. Yes, he has specific armors for situations that come up, like the Hulkbuster armor. But even then, every time he's fought the Hulkbuster armor has pretty much ended up demolished. And it's really nice, for him to have a more general Iron Man appearance rather than just a character that relies on gimmicks and running around. He can, like, before, when I was fighting Doc Ock, I would have to run around constantly, make sure that I was keeping my micro missiles up, and make sure that I was doing the appropriate damage. I mean, look at that. The one-off absolutely destroyed Dr. Octopus. I still had 6 more ideas for beating him. Yes, right. 6 more ideas for beating Doc Ock. And again, I'm level 48. This was a level, oh god, I don't even know. I think it's 48 to 52 or something like that. And this is the damage that he's doing now. I don't even know if I took damage throughout the entire instance, even though I stood one-on-one with him. I may have took a very little bit. But this is the new Iron Man. He's a lot of fun. He's very, very strong. And if you've been holding off on getting Iron Man, now is the time to do so. He's not nearly as expensive as he was, and he's a lot more versatile in what you can do with him. Now, as for costumes, the game's been out for a while, and Iron Man has the most costumes in the entire game. So here's just some of the costumes. There are still costumes that aren't even on this page that I unfortunately can't show you because I don't own them. But I mean, classic armor, Mark IV. He has Centurion. There you go. Iron. He's got all this stuff. Look at everything. Mark V, Marvel Now, which, if you've grown up with, or if you've seen the Iron Man Armor Adventures, this is also called the Space Armor now. The Shotgun Armor from the movie, which it looks awesome. It's my personal favorite. And the Star Boost Armor. As you can see, lots of other armors. He also has his Stealth Armor in the game, which you get by buying fortune cards. Um, and he also has a nightclub armor. I don't actually know what that is. I don't think I've actually seen it yet. But I mean, Iron Man has the most costumes in the game. So if you really, really want some Iron Man costumes, this game's gonna cost you a pretty penny. Because pretty much every costume is like $9.50. There's a couple of $12 here and there, and only the really basic costumes are less than that, which would actually just be these three, which as you can see, nothing really to write home about. Um, but yeah, this was Iron Man. This is his new tree. Again, I think all three trees are viable. Definitely awesome stuff. Um, if you have House Party actually works the same.
Now you're in trouble.
Calls in all four suits, and they actually follow him around a bit now. So you don't have to be stationary anymore. They'll go ahead and they'll seek out some enemies for you. It still does an extraordinary amount of damage. Fortunately, it's on a 20-minute cooldown, so it's not nearly as powerful as, say, Luke Cage's Heroes for Hire. Um, because, again, you can only use it every 20 minutes, whereas Luke Cage gets his every 2 or a minute and a half, something like that. Again, this isn't complaining since that is his ultimate and it is very powerful. It will wipe out pretty much any boss, but so does the one-off, as you guys saw with Dr. Octopus. So again, I'm going to put some additional gameplay footage from Iron Man. This is Iron Man post 1.3 patch. Uh, he's definitely worth checking out. I'm not quite sure on how many G's he is right now. Um, Let me see. His equivalent would be Deadpool, which I own. So Spider-Man is the only one of the top tier heroes I don't own. So you're looking at 1450 for Iron Man, which is you pretty much got to say $15. It may even be $20 because I don't think you can buy $15 worth of G. Um, and then of course his costumes are all in the $12 range, and in order to get that many, in order to get this guy with Eternity Splinters, it's actually going to be 600 Eternity Splinters, which will take a few weeks to build up. But again, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'm going to put some additional gameplay footage after this break, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to the videos. Make sure you comment in the comment section below to let me know of anything that you want to see, or any improvements for my videos that you may have as far as suggestion goes. I'm open to all comments and criticisms. But thanks again for watching the Marvel Hero gameplay highlights, and I'll be back soon with a new hero, hopefully.